Broadcasting from an undisclosed location under a farm pond somewhere in the Midwest. Your host is Jim Crowley. This is Slickfish Radio. Welcome to Slickfish Radio. Glad you all are joining us and starting to come in one by one. Thank you so much for being here. Just got back from Florida, and it is a little bit colder here. At least it is starting to warm up. We are really looking forward to this fishing season. Our guest this year has already been out and about. First of all, before we bring in Mark Lassagne from Bass Angler Magazine, one of my favorite publications, and we were going to inform all of you more about that in a little bit. I want to thank American Tackle. I just spent 3 or 4 days in Florida with the whole crew. I just love working with those guys. They were so much fun. Hi to Mo, hi to Don, hi to Alex, hi to everybody there. Just a great time with you guys. Also, Explore Lacrosse, going to be heading to Wisconsin soon. Again, can't wait for that. Want to thank Schultz in Springfield, Illinois for joining us, as well as Dakota Lithium. Couple announcements first. Next March 12th, that is a Saturday, Shields is having their annual Fish Fest. Absolutely fantastic event every year. Lots of sales, and just so you know, the shelves at Shields are packed. They are packed. They are product rich. Everything from Rapala, VMC, Suffix, you name it, your favorite brands, they are there at Shields. I was just there about 10 days ago, and they are packed and they are ready for Fish Fest. Also, March 16th, I will be teaching the second of my bass classes to the collegiate anglers there at Shields. That's going to start at 6:30, and that is going to be on lure choice and color selection. And so that's going to be, it was a great class we did on bait casting 101 the last time I was there. Everybody was there, so they're going to come back to this class. We'll have another announcement telling you about that. But Shields is doing everything they can to help the collegiate anglers, and this class is just another step in that direction. I have a couple people coming on here. Let's see who we have. Right away, Craig Claus from Florida. Craig, hi, how are you? Also on sale, just so you know, Fish 419 sunglasses are going to be on sale as well at the Shields Fish Fest. Jimmy Neese from California. You know about Mark. You know about BAM, about Bass Angler Magazine. So, Jimmy, welcome to the show. So we are going to bring our guest in right now, and that is Mark. Let's say, Mark, welcome to Slickfish Radio. How you doing?
Hey, good. How you guys doing?
Good. I love the T-shirt. I want to know where you shop. I got to get one of those. I like that T-shirt.
Yeah, you know what? I had a bunch of them made up, and I only have a couple of left. I've been, selling them at the shows and things.
Good.
And, yeah.
Well, you are.
Maybe I can dig one out. We'll see if I have one.
Well, you know what? After the paying customers are taken care of, yeah, I would love that. That would be great, because those are definitely two of my favorite colors. Hey, you've been on the road. You're at Lake Havasu now, right? Is that where you're at?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, he is out in the middle of the desert, and you were in Cabo last week. Sometimes it's tough to be an angler, right?
I get a little crap about it. I was in Florida, then I came back, went to Cabo, now I came back, and now I'm at Lake Havasu, doing a lot of fishing. I got to fish with some good guys, Bernie Schultz,
great.
Holmes, and some great anglers in Florida. And then I went to Cabo, caught me a giant marlin. Well, not giant for their aspect, but it was like a 170 pounder, which was
nice.
Pretty fun, unlike a bass, you set the hook and the thing runs like 200 yards and then jumps. So it was pretty amazing. And I caught like a 50-pound Dorado. So really good times there. I caught a lot more there than I'm catching here at Havasu. So I'm going to tell you, this is the first time in my life I went 2 days without getting a bite.
Oh, that's tough.
It was crazy, they told me it was tough here, but I didn't know it was that tough. And, luckily I figured a little something out today, and I got a few bites, had like 5 bites. So, I'm hoping that maybe this pans out a little bit, but it's a long run from the launch ramp.
Well, you're a former Marine. I don't even know how you say that. You're still a Marine as far as I'm concerned, but you are, thanks for your service, which everybody will tell you, because everybody's really proud of that.
Thanks.
But you don't know the word quit. I'm going to read just a couple things, just so you guys know. We got guys coming in from California. There's Jim. Missouri is here. Hi, Steve. Thanks for joining us. Jimmy Neese from California said, my shoulders hurt imagining the good times he had, the poor guy. Yeah. So
hey, Jimmy.
We have some great people that come in from the show all over the country, and I'm glad you guys are showing up tonight. I want to read you just a little bit, and if this doesn't tell you about Mark's work ethic, I don't know what does. Among other things, he's qualified 5 times for the FLW Championship, 3 times for the BFL Regional, 4 times for the Bass Federation Regional and the Bassmaster Top 150, and he's cashed a check in every lake across the West Coast. What that tells me right now is you don't spend a lot of money on gas.
Well, you know, I have to pay my dues just like everybody else. You know, you don't get to be better unless you spend the time out on the water and you know, and keep your line wet and keep trying different things.
That is for sure. There's something that I really as long as I think I've known you about 5 or 6 years. We ran into each other at ICAST a couple times, and one thing that I noticed about you is kind of like me to an extent. And when I thought about that, I read this off your webpage, and this is for some of the younger anglers that will tune into this probably on iTunes or Spotify later, because I always think they need to hear this, no matter how good of an angler you are. All right. An angler is only as valuable as his ability to create product demand and sales. Now, you've got vast experience in all kinds of media out there, and catching fish is always what we want to do. But if you had to tell something, and I ask just about everybody that comes on this show that's a professional angler like yourself, if you had to tell something to the college students, what is yes, you have to catch fish, but what else? What comes to mind right away that you would tell them?
It's it's marketing, you know, and having a good personality, being open, upfront, and approachable. So you want to be able to be approachable to these people. You want to have a good wherewithal about you, and you want to be able to sell the sponsors' products. So, and believing in them is also a big deal.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I've always tried to tell the collegiate angler, just anybody who's asked me that question, is if you don't use a product and you want to promote it, you are doing not only yourself an injustice, but you're doing that company an injustice.
Exactly.
You have to be able, you will sell better knowing that product. You will be able to work better for that company, because the pro staff word, I think it's overused a lot. And I know you probably hear this. You're very familiar with this at all. As far as when somebody says pro staff, the pro staff stands for promotional. It does not stand for professional.
Correct.
And we have a job out there, and our job is to promote those products that we believe in. Now, you, on the other hand, have another thing to do with Bass Angler Magazine, which I absolutely love. I love that magazine. I'm going to tell you why, folks, because just about it comes out about 4 times a year, right, Mark? About 4 times a year.
Yeah, exactly 4 times.
Yeah. Okay. So good. All right. 4 times a year. And what I like, there it is right there. See? And with Wheeler on the front cover, even. Holy cow. And I was going to throw this one up there for you, because that cover was really cool. I really liked that cover.
Ty. He's a good guy.
Yeah, that was neat. But at least in every article, you have at least in every publication, you have 25 full-length articles. Besides you being on the road, that's a lot of homework, man. I mean, that's a lot of work and effort. That's why I've always felt, from when I started reading it, that is one of the most informational, if not the most informational magazine that is out there today. And explain a little bit, how did you get started with that? How did this all come about?
Oh my God, it's actually a really long story. I started tournament fishing. I created a calendar of events, and then Mark Tyler, who I was working with a while back, said, "Hey, why don't you put stories in this calendar?" So we started putting stories in the calendar, and then the stories got bigger and bigger, and the calendar got smaller and smaller, and then we went nationwide and took the calendar out, and then basically just came up with a nationwide how-to magazine. So, Bassmaster and FLW both do a great job with their magazine. And I would say we're like a complement to these guys, where, we're the how-to side. Rather than all the tournament information that they provide, we provide the how-to information that, all these big tournament guys are using, and how, what they're doing to catch more fish.
Yeah, and I've got some more guys coming in here. Ted Kosky. Hey, Ted, how you doing? Steve again from Missouri. Hey, Steve, how are you there? Oh, my lovely wife. Yes, honey. I'm in the basement, just so you know. Which she knows. She watches the show all the time, and she figures it's downstairs, the upstairs. Now she's got a clean house. So anyway, so with practice, how many events do you have? And then we're going to get back to the magazine after a little break right here. But I want to talk a little bit more about your tournament schedule. So before we get back to the magazine, what is after Havasu here? Where do you go from here?
God, good question. I know I'm going to go practice at Trinity. We have an Apex event coming up there in another month. So there's a 30-day off limits for that. So I need to get up there next week, couple days next week, and practice for that. Then I have an event at Lake Oroville after that, and then Clear Lake, I think, the week after. And then, you know, not really sure. I got to look at my calendar after that. But I have, I'm going to say probably 15 or 18 more events scheduled for this year. I spend, you know, 200 and something days on the water every year. You know, whether it's, you know, I guide a little bit, not a lot. I do a lot of tournaments. You know, I just love fishing tournaments. I love fishing. I love taking people fishing. So, you know, and a lot of times I'm out there fishing, and like, you know, here at Lake Havasu, I'm really struggling. So what that does for me, it's like, okay, well, let's think of a story that we can come up with. How are we catching them? How are we going to catch these fish when, you know, throw the kitchen sink at them and I can't get them to bite? You know, what's next? So, you know, so today I kind of mixed it up. I was, you know, fishing shallow, you know, last few days, and today I went out. I wasn't fishing deep, but I was fishing steep walls today, throwing a spinnerbait, and I started catching fish doing that. So, you know, just, you know, I keep trying things different off the wall, and I keep trying, and you know, the time on the water is what helps you, you know, become better at figuring these things out. And time on the water, which helps me become better and build a better magazine. You know, I work with all my writers. You know, I wish I can't write all the stories. I write like one issue.
There's an honest editor right there. But you got some.
Yeah. So I'm the puppeteer. You know, the publisher, and I work with all these guys. And you know, if I'm struggling with something, and I'm going to go, hey, let's talk with Kevin Van Dam or Mike Iaconelli or Keith Combs or Alton Jones, or what would they do in this instance, you know? And so then we build this whole story about it. You know, these guys that out fishing on the tour, you know, they're fishing every day, and you know, how do they come up with fix these issues, you know, like we're having? How are they coming up with this when they're not catching fish? So that's one of the ways we come up with some new stories for Bass Angler. And I like to read every issue, and I'm gonna tell you, I learn, you know, from each issue. So
I think that's great. And, you know, you mentioned one of the guys earlier in Florida who is absolutely one of my favorites, is Bernie Schultz. And I really like Bernie. I've had him on the show before. We always talk at ICAST. I'll probably have him on later in the year again. And he has always been, in my opinion, a really good writer too. And I've liked his illustrations from years ago and watched his stuff, but he is always just a really personable, really, really good guy.
He is, yeah, he is really good. You know, he actually cashed a check in the last two elite events.
He's on fire.
So I sent him a text. I was like, congrats. So I was happy to see that.
Yeah, I when Bernie does good, I like there's several guys out there that I just really like that have been really kind to me over the years. Bill Owens, another one. I really like Bill. Bernie, there's a ton of guys. Justin Lucas was on the show a couple months ago. He was great. And you would know better than I would, because you've been working with these guys a long time. There's a lot of really, really, really nice guys out there, isn't there?
There are. You know what? There's a lot of guys. I've met so many great friends in the fishing industry. You know, it's been a wonderful ride through the industry, meeting all the people, and so many good guys. I'm going to say, you know, it's like 95% of them are good. There's a few bad apples in every bunch, but you know, most all of them are good.
Well, great. I've got some guys coming in here. Hi, James. How you doing there? Rick wants to, I don't know if he's going to tell you this. He's getting ready to compete there, Rick, but he wants to know color spinnerbait. that you're throwing.
Oh, he's probably here.
I don't know. I don't know if he's here, but so he's just there. These guys, I'll tell you what, some of these guys, they are just not going to let you out of it. They're going to ask you right away. We get questions, and this is great.
You know what? I'm throwing a 1/2 ounce.
There you go.
Revenge white and chartreuse, gold and silver blade spinnerbait. So you can't buy them. Unfortunately, you know, Ray passed away last year, so you can't get these spinnerbaits anymore. So good luck trying to find one. I have a couple. I have enough to get me through the tournament for sure. Hopefully they're going to bite it. You know, had a couple fish come up and swipe at it that didn't get it. So that would hopefully, luckily it wasn't a tournament today. So it was good. So well, at least I got to see some.
That's great. I'll tell you what, we're going to take a break here. And then when we come back, Mark, I want to talk to you more about the magazine. And I also want to talk to you a little bit about some West Coast stuff, since you have since you have so much experience out there. So I'm going to tell you, just like Chuck Woolery used to say on his show, we're going to be back in 2 and 2.
American Tackle is home to the award-winning microwave line control system. Rod blanks to reel seats, ferrules to finish, grips to guides. They're committed to the very best in rod building components. Find out more, americantackle.us. With fishing beyond your expectations, indoor and outdoor activities, a vast variety of places to eat, drink, and stay. Discover your next adventure between the bluffs. ExploreLaCrosse.com. Located in Springfield, Illinois' largest selection of sports and sportswear, hunting, fishing, specialty shops and services, a 65-foot Ferris wheel, 16,000-gallon saltwater aquarium, and industry-leading knowledgeable employees. You don't take chances at Shields, ever. Go to Shields.com. Believing quality is measured by lifespan and harnessing their unique chemistry and engineering know-how. Dakota Lithium lasts 4 times longer, powering your passion with an 11-year warranty. Find out more, DakotaLithium.com.
Slick Fish Radio with Jim Crowley can be seen and heard on Roku, Fire TV, Spotify, Amazon Music, and iTunes.
We are back. My special guest this week.
Yay.
Yeah, there you are, is Mark Lassagne from Bass Angler Magazine. And everybody, thanks for joining us. We got more people clicking in here. Thank you, everybody. We have an excellent audience, and it's getting bigger. And I want to thank all of you. Here's a new comment. Oh my goodness, look at all these. Holy cow coming in here. This is great. Yes, hello to everybody. Thank you for joining us. Mark, I want to ask you, with the big trend in forward facing sonar, I'm sure there are going to be more articles that you're writing leaning toward that. Since you're on the water so much every year, kind of tell us what you've seen, or so many days every year. Tell everybody what you have seen, what you have noticed in your experience with yourself and other anglers about forward-facing sonar.
Yeah, you know, I think forward-facing sonar is absolutely amazing. I can't imagine fishing without it. So the other day I guess I had too many units hooked up to one fuse, and it blew a fuse. I didn't have my forward-facing sonar, and I honestly felt lost. So I got that fixed, and now I have my forward-facing sonar back. I use Garmin Livescope, and I've used it so many times. You know, I mean, to watch. You can throw it out like here at Lake Havasu. There's a lot of structure in the water, some structure that they've put. So I can actually run my forward-facing sonar, run it out to about 75 feet, and then sweep back and forth, and I can see these boxes or cages that they put in the water, and I can tell right where they are. And one thing I do with my forward-facing sonar is I'll look at it, and then I'll see that, and I'll just touch the screen, and I can create a waypoint right there. So I've been waypointing structure for the last couple of days. Hasn't had me catch any fish on it, but you know, maybe during the tournament there might be some fish on it. You know, Garmin, you know, they're the first ones to come out with it.
Right.
We had the first one that was a big brick that was, you know, that was really cool when that came out. And then they came out with the new one with the LVS. I think it's LVS 500. Excuse me if I'm wrong, with that one with the black box. And that one was the difference between like traditional sonar and then like down scan. So a big difference. And now they just came out with another unit that is cleaner and crisper. I don't have that one yet. It's not quite out yet. But I can't wait to try that and see how, you know, how much better that is. But forward-facing sonar, I don't think there's anybody out there that would, after they've used it a couple times, that would be without it.
And we got to use it ice fishing a lot this year, and it really made a difference. I mean, we were literally chasing fish around a lake that was clear ice, clear water, and it made such a difference because you could actually see where they were. What really amazed me is not only could you see where they were, but how big some of the schools were. And I'd never envisioned that under the ice before forward-facing sonar. You know, you'd catch some fish and you'd see a school run through, and you would see on your flasher, you go, okay, there are some fish there. You never knew. Now you thought, hey, maybe there was 10 or 15. Holy cow, there could be 100 to 200.
Yeah.
On there, and that just blew my mind. I can't wait to open water this year when we can get out and play with it a little bit more. Now, West Coast is where always it seems that the light line stuff that I like to learn about, because I love to fish smallmouth up north. And so I use more and more of that, what I can find. And drop shot, although it's been around for for a long time, it is becoming more prevalent. And I see guys using it in rivers and things where you wouldn't use it before. And is there anything else that you're seeing from the West Coast that is coming this way that you thought, holy cow? Or is there a new tweak on some things that you can think of that you go, hey, you guys might want to try this?
Oh, good question. You know, that's probably for more of a finesse guy. I drop shot because I have to, but I'd much rather throw a big jig or a crankbait or a crankbait or something.
Yep.
You know, I drop shot, you know, basically because I have to. You know, it's just sometimes that's the way to catch them. I'm going to say, you know, lighter line. You know, guys are going with 5-pound tests, even 4-pound tests. Float and fly is another one. You know, not really a new technique, but you know, a good technique. I like to fish that one. It's really fun to watch the bobber. You know, Ned Rig. That's, you know, I don't know if that came out of California. I think that came from actually back east somewhere. And the Nico Rig, you know, I throw that. Sure. I actually throw that one a lot. I actually caught one on that today, so pretty nice, almost 3-pound smallie on that.
Oh, nice.
Today on a Nico Rig, besides a spinnerbait. So I caught, you know, 2 techniques I have, you know, under my belt.
He's giving all the juice away today. That's what he's doing. That Nico Rig, just for some guys who may not know, and there may be some guys on the show here tonight who aren't familiar with that, and that's basically taking a wacky worm and weighting one end of it. What is your setup for that? I always like to ask guys if that's your favorite light line. Like my favorite light line probably is a wacky worm. I like throwing a wacky worm when I have to throw light. I'm like you. I like to throw a jig. I like to throw a bladed jig. Those are things that I like to do, but sometimes that's not the way to do it. So if you had to throw a Nico Rig, what is Mark Lassagne set up for?
So what I'm throwing it here on is I use a Kuma Psycho stick with a Helios 30 reel. I spool it up with 10 or 15-pound braid, usually white, and then I'll use a 6 to 10-pound leader, you know, depending on how clear the water is.
Sure. Havasu
is pretty clear, so I'm using 8-pound leader here, and then I use like a little drop shot hook, like a 1/0 drop shot hook, and then I'll use a Yamamoto Senko.
Sure.
With a nail weight, and I usually use a tungsten weight, and then I use it's like a clear band. You can get them on Tackle Warehouse, and I don't remember the name, but there's some pliers you use and put a clear band on I used an O-ring for years and years, which works fine, but I kind of like the clear band. It looks a little stealth. And then I usually use a 5-inch Senko. Here I'm throwing a natural shad, so that's you know, that's always a good color to throw, especially on clear water lakes.
Sure. Usually the clearer the water, the more natural the color. Right. In most cases, sometimes in the spring, I throw some really wacky colors for smallmouth when the water's really cold. But no, that is great. And yep, guys are saying thanks for the information. Great information. And that's what we like doing the show. It's fun. We like to get that information out there to all of you. Now, Mark, before we let you go, I want you to go through everything on Bass Angler Magazine. I know you got an ebook out there. I know they can get it online. They can subscribe to it. Throw all that stuff out there, man, because if you guys aren't reading Bass Angler Magazine, one way or the other, you truly need to. So Mark, let them have it. Let them know everything about it.
You know, if we have a minute or two, let me just kind of go over some of the things that we have in this issue. Okay. So we have one about just get it right, you know, about getting it better. You know, man overboard. We have a safety event. We have running hard and ripping fast, about ripping. That's not ripping a rip bait. It's ripping like a jig up off the bottom. So kind of a different deal. Brandon Polnick, this soft bait lineup, why glide baits work. Forgotten Finesse making a comeback. KVD, you know, he throws caffeine shad, but we call it It's a Fluke with KVD, kind of play on words there. Don't forget the Carolina rig, how Jacob Wheeler won Angler of the Year. You know, we have Todd Castledon and Bradley Hallman. You're getting too close. About the Apex events in on the West Coast. Fishing betting bass with Josh Berstrand. Understanding and fishing the spawn. Locating the hidden spawners. That's on, you know, places where you can't see, you know, actually see the bottom. And that's, you know, that's only 50% of the stuff we have in the issue. So, you know, in Bass Angler, we're really trying to help you catch more fish. I mean, that's our goal. That's my goal, is basically to help you catch more fish. When a guy sends me an email and goes, man, I read your magazine and it helped me catch more fish, that's what, you know, that's what really gets me going. So you can get it bassanglermag.com. Go up the top where it says subscribe right there. Enter the code BAM2022. So they give you like 20% off. So it gives you a little discount. And we also have the digital edition comes with that. So we changed fulfillment houses now. And now when you sign up, you'll get an email back to you, and it'll give you a link where you can go look at the digital edition also. And that's no charge.
All right. Well, first person to sign up tonight. I'm going to give away another one of the Jim Crowley Outdoors hats. So message me or put a comment there. I don't care if it's tonight or tomorrow when we're out on the other platforms. First person I see that signs up for Bass Angler Magazine. It's my favorite magazine out there. I am telling you, it is the most informational magazine out there. Somebody signs up tonight or tomorrow, comment, I will send you a Jim Crowley Outdoors hat. And as I always do with everybody, I will throw in more goodies that you're not expecting. We will have some fun with this. Get this magazine. I don't say that about magazines very often. Get online, subscribe, get it however you can get it. Trust me, I've learned a lot from it. The editor-in-chief said he's learned from articles that have been written in there. If he can do it, for crying out loud, the rest of us can too. If the old editor of the magazine can be honest and say he learned from it, I guarantee you there's stuff in there that we can all learn from. Mark, I appreciate. Also, by the way, you can find you guys on Facebook as well.
Yeah, Bass Angler Magazine on Facebook. So
there you go. It is truly that simple. So get on Bass Angler Magazine, hook up with the great information that Mark provides right there. Mark, I am thrilled that you were a guest tonight. Thank you for taking your time. I hope you kick butt at this tournament, dude. Those fish owe it to you.
Oh yeah, we'll see. Hopefully it's one of those things that you had a horrible practice and it turns all around during the tournament. So we'll see what happens.
There you go. Everybody stay tuned right after this, because we're going to have some, I'm going to have some discount codes for everybody. Mark, God bless you, my friend. Stay safe. Catch a bunch, man. Hope to see you at ICAST.
Thank you. All right. I'll see you there.
That was great. Mark Lassagne is one heck of a nice guy. Let's see. Yeah, Jimmy Neese said quality from the front of his magazine to the back. Jim, is that who's this? Rick said, I think Rick found the code. So Rick, if you subscribe tonight, man, you're on here right now. You said you're looking for the code. Go up to the top, I think, as he said. Somebody who subscribes tonight, you're getting that hat, or tomorrow. So we will be here. Okay, a couple announcements for you guys. Thanks again for joining us tonight, like I said. And I want to tell you, let you know again that I will be at Shields on March 12th. That will be for Fish Fest. If you're somewhere in the Springfield, Illinois area, please get there. That is a wonderful event. Shields does so much for our sport and so much for the collegiate anglers. And there's going to be a lot of great deals there and some really cool stuff happening. That's March 12th at Shields. And then again, I will be there March 16th for that class that I will be teaching to the collegiate anglers again, and that will be on lure selection and color choice, 6:30 p.m. That is free. If you haven't seen the other show, Jim Crowley Outdoors on Wired, exclusively on Wired to Fish TV, our time slot is is 2 p.m. On Pacific Standard Time. We are 4 p.m. Monday through Friday Central Time, and we're going to have that cool episode coming up where we caught those peacock bass. We're going to show you where. We're going to show you how, like we do in every episode. We're going to get in depth about how you can catch some of those peacock bass. So I want to, as always, I want to tell all of you, thank you so much for joining us. Oh, I got some discount codes for you. Before we leave, let's do this. Hey, check this out. Go to Lure Parts Online, put in the code JC Outdoors 10. You get 10% off your order. Autism Anglers, which we support on this show, put in the code JC10. You will get 10% off. Our buddies at American Tackle, check this out. Go to American Tackle, anglerproducts.com, rods, reels, everything. Everything. Put in the code JCO20. You get 20% off there. All right. And my favorite sunglasses, Fish 419. Go to their website, put in the code Thanks JC, and you will get 10% off there. Look at this. Mark just put in the code. If you guys are looking for the code, Rick Reed just said thanks. I think Rick is hot on the trail of getting a subscription. That is the code that Mark wants you to put in. It's BAM. That's BAM 2022. Put that code in, and you will get a discount. So whoever subscribes, first one to subscribe, and I see it in the comments here, you will get a free Jim Crowley Outdoors hat. So that's how that goes. Thank you to all of you for joining us tonight. You know, I say this every podcast. We'll have another one in 2 weeks. That's going to be a great show too. But thank you so much to all of you. Thank you for all of you that are watching us on Wired to Fish TV. Thank you for all of us that are watching and listening to us on the platforms for Slick Fish Radio. I'm extremely grateful, and it's great to hook up with all of you on this live format every couple of weeks. And thanks. We'll have another great show coming soon. God bless you. We'll see you.